Stop by and see Chef Deborah. Thank you, guys. Yes, you can. You can. Hi, folks online. Sabrina Thomas here from Park Heights Renaissance. We're going to be getting started in just a moment. We want to welcome you to our February meeting. We have some folks here and also we'll be going back and forth, especially when we get to the Q&A. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We'll be monitoring the chat throughout the meeting. If you can't hear, let us know. If you can't see, let us know. Any questions, just let us know. If you were here, you'd be eating with us, but we hope you had something to eat at home. Just a moment. Just a moment and we'll be getting started.
No RFQ first. Okay. Covered.
Okay, folks, so to get started, we're gonna have Christina Williams from Park Heights Renaissance to come up and talk to everyone about our RFQ summary, which is the request for qualifications. Christina.
Good evening, everyone. You can see me online. Hopefully I'm in a good position. Everybody can see me. But I am going to talk to the people in the room. So good evening, my name is Christina Williams. I work with Park Heights Renaissance on the Business and Economic Development team. In October, we released a RFQ, request for qualifications, for vendors to respond to our partnership for comprehensive safety beautification and community revitalization strategy. And so essentially what today is, we went through the process in November. We received responses to our RFQ. We selected all of our vendors, and this is just our opportunity to update the community on what this looks like, how we're going to be engaging with everyone moving forward, and hopefully how we'll be hearing from you all throughout this process as well. I didn't see it. Yeah, we're still on the main page. So today's updates is just to provide an overview of the RFQ, the process, and the document we pass forward. Essentially, I'm sure you've all, if you've attended any one of Park Heights meetings, you've heard about our collective impact model. And so this is just a continuation of this work, but with a primary focus in the commercial corridor, primarily the it just is an opportunity for us to continue to reflect our commitment to equity, stewarding our public and private dollars stewarding our private and public dollars, but then also making sure that we are doing it in a transparent way.
Jane, I'm not sure if it's sharing the presentation. This is sharing.
Sorry. Make sure everybody is seeing on the screen and y'all are seeing here.
Share. What about now?
Yep.
There
we go.
Okay.
Awesome. You can go to the next slide. I'm gonna try my best I'm like having it on my phone, but I can barely see it on my phone. So I'm trying to see it while I'm talking to you all so I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. This one?
Nope. I don't know what happened. It did it right the first time.
All right, let me just go back.
Yep. There we go. All
right, cool.
All right, perfect. I think we're on track now. So essentially the project overview, I just want to give everybody an overview of what this project is. The Main Street corridor, which goes from Northern Parkway to Shirley, and then we have a few cutouts here and there as well, is we consider our commercial and cultural hub within the Park Heights master plan area, well, really within Northwest Baltimore. But it has over the years experienced a lot of disinvestment, historic disinvestment, environmental neglect, as well as persistent safety concerns. And so what we wanted to do was ensure that as we were developing a strategy for revitalizing our commercial area, that we weren't just tackling the facades or the buildings and just addressing the businesses, but doing it in a way that encompasses all of the things that go into making a community and an area vibrant, which includes safety, which includes sustainability, which aligns with design and also is rooted in justice. So that is what this proposal did. This is what we put forward to our to those who were interested in applying. And we laid out 6 different service categories. We told the vendors, you're more than welcome to apply for one if you felt like your expertise aligned with one, but you could also apply for all of them if you were able to put together a team that could meet all of those different requirements. Those 6 service categories are, and I'm sorry, I can't see from here, but it's safety and lighting, it's community design and placemaking, it is justice and wellness integration, and I'm sorry, facade design and construction, interior build out and code compliance, along with sustainable and green infrastructure. So instead of just saying, oh, we want to see trees along the main street, or we want to see nice street lights, we want to see all of it. We want to see how it all comes together, and then we'll move throughout from the place to the people, and combine and pulling all of those things together. Also, we were very clear. I'm sorry, next slide. We were very clear with those who were applying about what we were looking for in terms of qualifications. So we communicated our desired qualifications, and we were able to receive 24 responses, which we were very excited about. That means there were 24 vendors who responded to our request, and some of them applied for all of the service categories. So we had folks across all of our service categories meet those qualifications, in addition to some of those who were right here in Park Heights. And we gave priority to folks who were right here in Park Heights too. Our motto being collaboration over competition, we made sure that we were integrating that into our process as well. And so very excited about the outcome of the responses, but also what we saw from those responses was a diverse mix of designers, contractors, artists, placemaking organizations, and those who had specialties in sustainability. So we can also build into the work green infrastructure, stormwater management, really thinking future forward, not just meeting the immediate needs that we have or infrastructure issues that we have right now, but thinking futuristically to make sure that those things are sustainable throughout the next generation and possibly even the next. I don't know, not sure how long they'll last, but we're definitely thinking decades down the line. Next slide. So what we proposed is we did have in our RFQ a point system that we also presented to that we also provided to all of the vendors when they wanted to apply. But what we found and identified was that we had an overwhelming number of vendors who applied who were rooted in community, but may not have the full capacity to do some immediate work that we were looking to get done. So out of the 24, we decided we're working with all 24. We instead of putting together a selection committee that evaluated for selecting one vendor, instead of selecting one vendor or a couple of vendors out of the 24, we're going to figure out a way to work with every single one of them. What that looks like is that we have a tiered system that we proposed. The first tier being they're ready to go right now. They can address some of our place-based issues. They can address the facade and construction. They have the capacity to do multi-project level type of work. Versus just like one-off projects here and there. They also have the capacity to bring, to mentor other vendors who may not have had that capacity when they applied, but they showed that they had real opportunity to, they had trust in the community and they had the ability to grow in that capacity as well. So we were really excited about the 7 vendors that we chose who are going to be a part of our phase 1. And while phase 1 is underway, we have phase 2 that is going to begin while phase 1 is starting. So we're not waiting until the work is done to bring phase 2 in, phase 2 being those vendors who may have needed a little bit more technical assistance, who maybe just didn't have the full scope or capacity to meet our immediate need, but had the ability to grow into that role. Also, vendors who had more of the community engagement and justice and wellness alignment, those are the ones who are starting in phase 2. So while we're getting some shovels in the ground and we're getting some hammers to the nails, we'll be bringing in some of the other vendors to work directly with the community on some large-scale artwork projects, to do some of the violence interruption in partnership with the partners we already have been engaging with, to focus more on clean and green and some behavioral changes. So when we put these pretty things in place, like how are we supposed to use them? Or are they working? Like really just making sure that if we need to make changes along the way, we have people in place who are engaging with you all and our businesses to help us make those adjustments as well. I keep forgetting I'm supposed to use my phone to see. And so with our tier system, we identified 7 ready to go, immediately deployed businesses. We had 15 vendors who we consider capacity building vendors, those who we can support in building their capacity to continue to grow our ecosystem. And then we had 2 others who were not quite ready for either one of those levels. Either they were businesses that did not meet the qualifications that we were looking for in terms of being able to be deployed for community engagement or for construction. One was an actual business. So we're like, great, we can work with you to hopefully help you open up a storefront in Park Heights. It was a business that actually met all of our community and wellness goals as a part of our collective impact model. So let's work with you in a completely different way and help build your capacity to the point where you're a business that's serving your community as a wellness business. But also we had one that was well beyond what we could even imagine. So there's technology, and then there's the metaverse. And this business is a metaverse type of business, which we had not really factored into how we would build them in, but we're not going to lose touch with them. We're going to continue conversations and figure out how we can continue to engage with them along the way. But those were the 2 businesses that we couldn't quite place into those 2 categories, but we're not losing track of anybody. We're continuing to build our ecosystem so that as the work continues in Park Heights, we're always going to be ready to deploy as resources become available, and as well as so that we're deploying funds expeditiously too. So when money comes along, we know sometimes it's like, well, now you got to find somebody to give the money to, or now you have to find someone to build their capacity in order to work with you. We're doing that before the money even comes to us. We're going to make sure that everything is ready to go. Next slide. I think Well, I only have 2 more slides, this one and one more. So phase 1, I'm just gonna briefly go over. We broke it down into 4 different areas. We have strategic design anchors. We have community identity and engagement. We have, implementation, and we have green infrastructure. So the 7 vendors will fall into those 4 categories. Within strategic design anchors, they will set the corridor vision, standards, and safety framework. Our community identity and engagement will build the pride and trust of the shared corridor identity. So really working with the community to understand what this looks like for everybody, and while building trust as well. And then maintaining the culture of Park Heights and all of that as well. Delivering physical improvements, that's our construction teams. So we have 2 teams that are ready, that would be ready to go. 1 team that can do multiple projects at the same time, and then 1 that's able to do a couple of projects at the same time, still with both with the capacity to bring on other construction companies to help build their capacity as well. And then our green infrastructure partner, which is a Park Heights-based company, is going to be there to add visible, low maintenance environmental improvements while helping us build out the framework for long-term improvements as well. And then my last slide. So next steps, we've already communicated with all of our vendors and I let them know exactly where they fall in this process. We're going to be launching a capacity building support for the phase 2 vendors as we get started on engaging with our phase 1 vendors. And then the implementation and community engagement will begin very soon. So please do not act like y'all don't know me when I reach out. This is very important that we hear from you and that you're a part of this process. This doesn't work if you don't have ownership over it too. So we want to make sure that your voices are heard during this process. And then we're documenting this. There are case studies across the country that people pull and look at other neighborhoods and say, oh, they did this or they did that. We could be one. We will be one. So we're going to make sure that we're documenting this entire process so that others can see what we did, how we did it, and possibly replicate it in their communities as well. And then just a quick preview of phase 2 programming, stewardship and behavior change. And I'm sorry, I gotta get closer and closer. So these glasses are not doing anything for me today. Phase 2 will activate additional vendors, particularly those in the, what we called originally the conditionally pre-qualified, but the capacity building groups. And so essentially what they'll be doing is that community engagement, really taking a look at the safety programs that are happening in the community and how we can be all working together to continue to see more behavior change. We've already seen some amazing things happening in our community through the partners we've engaged with. And so we just want to continue to support that work. And then as well as business support and corridor marketing will be a part of that as well. But that's my last one. I appreciate you giving me the time. Oh, yes, ma'am.
There's a culture in Park Heights been around for many, many years. The culture is right there at the 1500 block of Park Heights Avenue, the 4400 block of Park Heights Avenue, Cold Spring and Park Heights and Ricestown Road. The McCall Road and Wild. Those are main cultures that's been around for mega years. How are we looking at changing that as we move forward? Because unfortunately, I've had nephews grow up on those same coins. I mean, generation. So you are coming into it. And we are part of the process, need to understand that that is something that we really need to look at when we talk about engagement, because you're displacing, seriously, you're displacing people that's their life. Yeah. Day, morning, even that's where they live and breathe and stuff. Mm-hmm. So you're coming into a community that has been doing this for many years. And I just want y'all to be conscious. I'm saying that we just need to be conscious of that and be sensitive. Mm-hmm. Sensitive to the fact that this is their life that we're walking into. Mm-hmm. You know, this just didn't happen overnight. So as we move forward, tell all those new people that's coming into the community to be mindful in a loving, kind way to those who've been here. And I'm not talking about those who are taxpayers, because people in this community ain't everybody a taxpayer. but they still part of the community. They still part of the structure. You know, they still have a stake in it. So make sure that they are heard, that they're appreciated. You know, I'm talking about them guys on those corners and them girls, the young ladies. You know, so we really need to understand that we are uprooting generation of behavior. So I just wanted to kind of leave that out. I'm talking about lifetime. I'm one of those lifetimers. So I just want us to be mindful as we move forward to respect. The culture has been around for many, many years. Okay, because I'll be watching.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think that's an excellent point. And as we move through this process and recognize those individuals who occupy those spaces, that we want to evaluate opportunities for them to be revitalized, improved, moved on, economic development, jobs, whatever the need is, we need to build a system that addresses that. And we're facing that in our project, the Pemberton Golden Gardens. You know, there was a culture, people go there and that's their life. And we've had questions, can we get jobs? Yes, figure that out. So appreciate that comment and open to working with you all to figure that out.
I'll just add one thing quickly. This is just another tool that we're using in the overall strategy. And mentioning again the collective impact model, which touches on a lot of those things: workforce development, community safety and justice, wellness. And so, but it takes everyone again in this room, like pointing out that this is an opportunity for us to all be engaged. This is an opportunity for us to be connected to someone, to be thinking about this, to bring up to identify another partner who's doing this work. Because this is, while this is one thing that we're doing, it is not all of it's not the only thing. So I appreciate you both bringing that to the group and to the forefront, because it is very important that we don't lose track of anyone in these spaces. And the goal, and I said this because my work is mostly in the business sector. I say this even with problem businesses in the community. Sometimes businesses are like, I'm doing what I can do. It's not that I don't want to be a better neighbor. It's not that I don't want to be, more compliant or things. Sometimes they just do what they can do and they need additional resources. And so we have to evaluate those businesses too, to see where they are in the process and if there's a way that we can help them. And we've been doing that. We've been identifying ways to just help them be compliant while then building systems to help them stay compliant and then grow from there. And we wouldn't do that without. I just wanted to say, I appreciate you both speaking on that. And this young lady had a question.
I'm not really new to them, but I was just hoping it could be a little more context. So I don't want to make any assumptions that I understand what you mean, and I hope that doesn't open up.
Well, I know I was only given 10 minutes,
Okay.
so I'm just stopping. And this might be a conversation.
Yeah,
offline. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I was told a tight 10. I'll give you my number. We can talk offline. Yes, ma'am.
We're under construction right now, so to speak. But anyway, so you said with this our
Yes, ma'am.
there's a two-phase program
So far.
but it's looking in the future, so it's also a long-term ongoing thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you inform us exactly which phase we're in?
We're in the pre-phase. We've gotten vendors at this point that we've identified. We're building out task orders and confirming funding. And then we'll start onboarding our 7 vendors to start engaging with the community, but that has yet to happen. We're looking early spring for that engagement to start happening. with the hope that we're gonna start seeing some construction taking place early summer. And while the engagement is happening in the spring, phase 2 will begin. So we're not waiting until the construction is done to engage those other, like they need to, so if you're a business that doesn't have the capacity or didn't have the capacity to meet this first phase, we can't wait for the work to be done and then bring you on and you're like, well, I have nothing to learn from. So yeah, so it's, and to your point, it's an ongoing process. This is cyclical. This is not linear. But we're gonna try to keep
That
things
makes
moving.
sense. That makes sense. But also, is it just along the main street?
That's where we're starting. Yes. It's gonna be nodes, nodes that we start with, but we're gonna continue to apply for funding so that we can expand this. And to the point of documenting, it doesn't stop with the main street, I'm sure. It's where we're starting. Yes, thank you.
So before you leave, Christina, I want to, if Curtis, if you could also come up as well. These are the two main folks that are working with our Main Street, all things Main Street. Of course, Christina's working very heavily with the RFQ. And my colleague here, Curtis Edie, is our Main Street manager. So I just wanted to give them both an opportunity to give you contact information. We're placing it in the chat for those virtual. But just in case there are other questions, we don't want to leave you hanging, but we also want, to move the meeting along.
Thank you.
I was told 10 minutes.
You saw me stand over here. That's what the usher does on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Yep, Christina with the K. You want to give the email?
I'm gonna say my email first because I almost never remember my cell phone. So K Williams at PHRMD.org. Cell phone 443-571-6491. I apologize. I'm a learning one.
I never can remember this 443.
I was like,
I do know the number.
I know 571 is the last. I can never.
Not going to confuse people. And then Curtis Edie. See? This is the guy.
43
In the 8-bit.
5320. Yes, 5320.
And email.
And the email is my first initial C, last name EADDY at Gmail. Me at PHR.
Listen to the dance, go back. Next time we're going to have after the presentation. Okay, so thank you to them both. Curtis is gonna come back up momentarily, but I just wanted you to be able to put that connection together because it's the team. If all else fails, call our office and we'll find them. Thank you, guys. So next up, we have Breon. I'm not gonna mess with Breon's last. I practiced, but now I'm distracted. Just come on. I promise I really know him. Cool. Okay. Come on over here. This is your cue. This is my bad. Breon, is gonna tell you who.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Okay, wonderful. Those who are here, but also those who are virtual. My name is Breon Azueku. I serve as the Community Leadership Performance Manager. Much of the things to Mr. Boer's point, but also in further support of what Christina and Curtis are doing, I work directly with community leaders. I also would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to the associations that are represented here. We have Chemical Good Neighbors, as we just heard from Tabitha. We also have Northwest Neighborhood Association, their vice president is here. And I serve as the proud president for the Pimlico Terrace Neighborhood Association, which is actually where this meeting is being held tonight. So welcome to our neighborhood. But I also just wanted to give a few other updates. I know that to Mr. Board's point, we definitely have some newcomers to our community. But we want you all to feel welcome. We want for you to know who your neighbors are. We also want for you to know where you can find support. That is in your neighborhood association. Not everything can be addressed in these meetings, but sometimes those meetings that are happening right down the street, around the corner, you can definitely get the answers that you need. So I serve in that capacity. One other thing that I will also flag that is going to be very exciting is that we have been working, one, to create the Community Leadership Council. And so that is actually a leadership cohort in which we have roundtable discussions. We talk about the things that you as community members are having issues with and or are celebrating, right? Another thing, we're also moving towards heightening civic engagement. What does that mean? Let's foster relationships with our elected officials, with our city agency partners. Do we do it all within the PLC? Absolutely not. That's where relationships like with Christina, Curtis, Serena, and others within our organization comes into play. One last thing I think that I'll flag is that we're also moving towards neighborhood beautification projects. As we have a lot of new development projects here, we also want to make sure that we're creating long-term sustainable plans, right? Because we don't want to just put a thing through have community and or to the board's point, behaviors to change, right? The data has shown communities where it seems as though people are engaged, they're invested, they have lighting, they have greenery, usually crime is lower, right? In this area, we've definitely been trending lower, thank God. But also we know that there's still more work to continue to be done. And so that is what the leadership within the various neighborhoods have been working towards. And so just want to offer that to you. I will also give you my contact information. Let me know, somebody give me a thumbs up when y'all ready to start.
What you starting with phone up?
Let's start with phone number. I know my cell phone. For my PHR cell phone number is 443-821-4927. And then my email address is B as in boy, A for alpha, Z for zebra, U for unicorn, E for Edward, K for kite, W for windmill, U for umbrella at phrmd.org. And cover all the bases, right? All the numbers and the but one last thing I will say on a serious note, if you have new neighbors that have moved into your neighborhood, if you don't know about your neighborhood associations, call me, text me, email me. We want to get as many people at the table as possible because as leaders, we are seeing the work is plentiful, the workers are few. There are a number of things, there's a number of people in this community who are passionate. There's also a lot of talent that's untapped in this community. So we definitely want as many people at the table who are definitely just as excited as we are, right? To do the work, but also understanding that we're all working towards the same goal. So if you know anybody in your community that's not plugged in and or you yourself want to be more plugged in, please do not hesitate to reach out. Okay.
There's a contest, so.
Oh.
I've just been wondering if anyone. I keep Park Heights Renaissance merchant somewhere all the time. Never know. So next up, we're gonna do a business spotlight. As you all know, we'll soon learn. Every month we try to highlight a business in our community, just make folks aware. So many things we ride past, walk past every day. Never know what's behind the doors or what happens at night if there's someplace that's open in the evening. So today we're gonna do our business spotlight on Social Heights. And I'm gonna have my colleague Curtis Edie come up as our Main Street manager. And this business is on our Main Street in Park Heights. And he's gonna do a little interview and let you get to know about the owner, CEO of Social Heights, Miss Carmen Brown. You can. Yep.
All right. Well, let's just say that I'm Curtis Edie. This is Miss Carmen Brown. I had a whole introduction piece for us. She did a great job introducing herself. So, my question is always. Let's go. Still want to tell you a little bit about it. So, I've heard a bit that it's not just the brick and mortar that really is like the soul to our neighborhood. It's not just the brick and mortar with those houses, the churches and the schools, but it's the people who open their doors, their shops every day, every morning for us, from the corner stores to the main street. And Miss Carmen Brown is one of those proud business owners that we would love to build the curtain a bit. Because sometimes you don't get a chance to meet the business owners as community members. Business owners don't always get a chance to meet our community members. So we wanted to be able to remove the curtains, allow you all to see the vision, the person behind the business, the model. And so today we have with us the curator, she's a business owner and a business coach, with this phenomenal new business that's taking Main Street to a new height. So Social Heights is the business, and I would love to let Ms. Carmen start just by introducing herself. How long have you been a business owner? Let everybody know. So you all a little bit, how long have you been on it?
My name is R.G. Wardenberg Carmen Brown. Social Heights is a creative and professional hub, but it's also an event space. The goal is to really, I'm always better. The goal is to really create connection through engagement and creative experience. And we're excited about being here during this time period. I feel like the timing couldn't be better. And so we're happy to be here today to tell you a little bit about what we're doing.
So jump into that word.
So we started off, my partner and I, as a home improvement business. I was a design mind, he was the build. We've done several home improvement projects. We've also expanded a little bit with working like multi-unit buildings. I had an internship a couple of years ago with a company called Blank Slate. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but through Blank Slate, I learned a lot about some of the projects, the larger projects involved. Seawall is a development company that has taken on some really imaginative ways of just seeing Baltimore in a different way. Some of the projects that I got a chance to see that kind of gave you insight into the new, when you're developing change, or when you're bringing new concepts to an area, you want to really build relationships with the community. And so Seawall has a great model of that. And I got a chance to look into an Impact Hub as one of the locations off of the North End. The new reimagined Lexington market. And then I've also seen our house. I don't know if any of you have frequented those spots, but in those places, their idea is to really give the owner the opportunity, but without the intimidation of having to take on so many expenses. So there are a lot of those places that are shared living or shared spaces among small businesses, various small businesses. And so the idea of Social Heights is to bring a space where young creatives, as well as small business owners, can come together and collaborate through workshops, through social events, and through just collaborative experiences in the community.
Pretty sure many of you all in such space many times. Right there, as you go north down on Park Heights, past Wally, it's right there nestled next to going to the funeral home, Darcy Jones.
No, it's not some people don't.
So
Don't want to do this.
just a bit rental space, and so I have an opportunity to get into that curation piece. What would you say your ideal customer for Social Heights? And how does your business specifically serve the needs of the community in curating your opportunities for community members and or bringing them into this space as a business coach, as a curator?
I would say community residents, creatives, entrepreneurs, change makers, folks who are interested in just building connection, and then launching unique ideas, ways to solve problems.
He said that Captain.
I also wanted to mention one concept, and hopefully this doesn't ignite other conversations, but I think about how in the community there has been some talk about wanting to make sure that there's no displacement, wanting to see that new ideas and new businesses coming in doesn't mean that. And one thing I think is so important is when you're creating or reimagining how a space is to be perceived, it's important that along with behavior change comes opportunities to change behavior. You can't change behavior and then offer nothing to replace the previous behaviors that existed. And so when it comes to creating creative spaces, the arts is one of the most beautiful ways to express emotion. And oftentimes when people are burdened with stress or anxiety or generational curses, they are quick to fall into certain habits that are what they've seen their whole life. But when you're introduced to new ideas and you find opportunities within your community to engage in these new activities, then behavior change becomes sustainable. And so that's something that we really do believe in when it comes to what we hope to implement.
Displacement, sustainability, these are all things that we value here at PHR as well. So it seems like your business is aligned as well with our Park Heights Mission Planning. Creative arts is a business to help bring that change. I don't know if you're looking for it.
Oh, I'm like, hopefully phase P has the same optimism. Yeah.
Speaking of that, as part of Park Heights master plan, we prioritize sustainability and wellness. So in regard to the physical racetrack redevelopment plan, it's a big emphasis on healthy neighborhoods. I know you spoke a little bit about like art being able to be a transformative vehicle to help the culture and preserve the culture, but Social Heights offers certain products and services and your physical space. How would you say this can impact the physical, mental, environmental health department?
So as you know, as I mentioned, part of our foundation as a business, hopefully you'll come to visit. But if you come to visit, the space has really been created by us. We did all of the remodeling and renovations inside of the building, and we put our own personal touch to it. And so we truly have the same passion to support other businesses, small businesses, in doing the same thing. I think that one thing that's huge when it comes to creating a brand is having your unique identity, and then you attract your niche market. So people who share the same values, folks who, so to speak, get you because you're relatable in that way, they will be attracted to you. And so supporting other businesses and being able to achieve that is really important. And so the practical skills that are needed sometimes with maintenance of properties, gaining insight into color theory and marketing and branding I mean, these are all things that we've had to do ourselves as we're trying to build our business. So we're supportive in helping others to see and imagine what they want to do, you know, from their own lenses without compromising their own unique identity. That's
Just the last question. So, well, one, I want to just, you didn't say anything about it, but one of the services that they offer is curated events as entrepreneur. They did an entrepreneurial conference just last month, January 30th, I believe. They had 4 different business coaches come, talk about marketing, entrepreneurship, mentality for entrepreneurs, choosing spaces, how to build your brand identity. So, you know, some of the programming that they're looking to offer is opportunities for people to come into these. It's not just your space, but they do offer other programming as well.
we have another workshop coming April 11th.
Yeah, let them know. Let them
Yes,
know.
it's on our social, it'll be on our social page. For the series in the next 8 weeks.
Where are you located?
Are you familiar with Derek's Funeral Home? What's the address? It is 4605.
4605 Park Ice Avenue.
So,
Dark has the thing, Dark Jones. And then are you closer to the Sumter Avenue side?
So we're on the same road. We're like, there's 2 spaces in between us.
And it was a corner, it used to be like a blue song, and you on that corner?
We're not on the corner, we're like in the middle of that room. So if you're familiar with the black awning that you
Yeah.
do, we're 2 doors down, and you'll see a sign that says social height if you drive by. It's just much smaller. You're waiting for our meeting.
So the location is not connected to the recording studio at 4605. It's 2 doors down, southbound coming towards Sumter on Park Ice Avenue, away from the restaurant. What's last question for you? What's one piece of advice you would give to someone in the community who's thinking about starting their own small business?
To look in your environment, right? When we looked at our space and we were thinking, well, how are we going to start building community? Because we don't know folks here, right? We're so new. So we looked at Derek's Funeral Home, like that's the first space that we now want to build a strategic partnership with. Why? Because he already has traffic coming right in our direct. So building that strategic partnership comes through shared values. It comes through looking out for each other in small ways. And so my partner, who, as I mentioned, has his NHRC license, is an operating contractor, has been doing this for over 6 years. Who does Derek call when he needs some support with something in his space? He calls Corey. And so that partnership now has a way of supporting each other and building like an ally where there's trust. And then through that partnership, now you're expanding your network. So who is he going to tell? Well, someone's going to just fix this the other day. See if he'll give you some pricing. He's an honest guy. So now you're building relationships with someone else, and it's a strategic partnership because why? It's working to both of your advantages without compromising your like it doesn't pose a what's the word I'm looking for? It does not pose a
Liability.
conflict of interest. So it's like if 2 people are like on the same road and they both sell flowers, fresh flowers, right? That would create a conflict of interest. You see 2 gas stations, one is on one corner and the other is on the, they're constantly competing for business. But if 2 organizations are supplying different needs, but in the supply of those different needs, they're able to support one another in that partnership, they're building collaboration. And that's a form of strategic partnership.
We have the opportunity to, we're using this opportunity to bring again business owners to you all as stakeholders, to give Excuse me, they're story back.
All right, so I'm gonna help my partner out. This is what collaboration looks like. So, Carmen, again, great job. Thank you. I'm glad you all now have awareness of a place. I know, I didn't even know until I met Carmen a couple months ago that this space was being utilized and what was going on there. And that's why we try to shine these lights each month. Carmen, your socials, we do have it online for folks to see. They have it already. Carmen has, I'm sure, information that anyone needs. She can provide that to you directly and answer those additional questions, but please check out the social media pages, which is, I'm gonna stop you again. Okay, she has the information on her card, but we wanna make sure that everybody can connect with you on social as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, this is Park Heights. We gotta make sure you drink. We're collaborating, working together, building partnerships. Carmen knows me well, you know, since the last few months we've gotten to really know each other. So we're here for you in any way that we can help to help promote also what you have going on there. When you get the flyer for the next event, make sure to share that with us so we can help push that out as well. So moving right along.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on to my good partners whose office happens to be in this building, which is why we're here today. February is National Black HIV and AIDS Prevention Month. You know, it's not just Black history, we're worried about Black health too. And to that end, we partnered with our good friends at Park West Medical, who operates programming for HIV and AIDS out of this building. So I'm gonna bring up Ms. Shantae Moore, who is the project coordinator for the Hidden Gardens program through Park West.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, one correction. Anybody heard of Park West Medical Center?
Yes.
Okay, can somebody tell me what Park West Medical Center is? So we do have a location on Belvedere, yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, Belvedere and Park Heights, yes. We did, so Park West Medical Center is a one-stop shop for your medical needs. That's the best way to put it. So we have internal medicine, we have pediatrics, we have OBGYN. We have 3 different locations. That is Quantico and Park Heights, Belvedere and Park Heights, and then we have one at Town Plaza. We also have a dental and pharmacy, which is at our Belvedere location as well. We have case managers on site. We have sliding fee scale. We have an insurance interpreter to help get insurance as well. We have a lot of people in our community. The biggest barrier is they don't have insurance or health is just not a priority because of what they're dealing with mental health. So we also have therapists on site as well for mental health, behavioral health, that can assist them. So we knock down all barriers in the community.
You can move just in this space.
I got you. But I can clear that up. Now, the station that I do work for is under the umbrella of Park West Medical Center, and that's the Hidden Garden Program. I love our name because we are hidden.
Deserving
Times when people hear HIV or when you're going to the clinic for HIV, you know what you're walking into the clinic for. It stands out, most clinics say HIV specialist, or it says HIV clinic, STI clinic, versus here, because we're a one-stop shop, you don't know what you're coming in here for. You could be coming for medical equipment, you could be coming for a case management service.
Darn sad.
So that's one of our specialties that we do like to say, and why we love our name is the program.
Roy
So
Raymond,
as you said, this is Black History Month, so.
Corseteers at department stores treated men as outsiders.
Awareness Day. So we're gonna give some facts. This is Mr. Michael Brady. He
That is the
is
story.
our prison outreach coordinator.
800. Now with
You want to know who Mike Brady is? People Mike Brady.
So we're just gonna share some facts, just have a little fun real quick. Just wanna know, how many people can name some Black celebrities that have HIV? Betsy Johnson's one, okay. Anybody else? We have more. See, Magic Johnson is the one that they do highlight. It was one of the ones that came out. Majority of his best one players did. Send that out.
Oh, don't start those. Are we ready?
Yes.
I feel like I'm still in the presentation at school.
Yes, Billy Porter is one. Yeah, Easy E.
Can you lift it up a little bit?
So we have a reverse, we have a tennis player, Arthur Ashe, we have Ned Johnson, basketball player, Easy E, who was the rapper, then we have Jermaine Stewart, who was the R&B singer, Sylvester James, we have Soleil Kute, who was a Nigerian performer, Billy Porter, we have Alvin Adley, we have Howard Rollins, Pio Blanco, which is a rapper as well, and then Peter Hand, who was another basketball player.
Arthur Ashe was blood transfusion. So back then they weren't really testing the blood that people were getting when they had surgeries and all. So a lot of people that were donating blood and plasma were HIV positive. Okay, and so that's how he ended up contracting it. Anybody who know who Ron White is?
Yes.
Okay.
Little young kid, wasn't he? Young kid.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson's right there.
I like to see him because he contracted AIDS first.
With blood transfusion. Right, so the actual song that Michael Jackson wrote was Gone Too Soon. Yeah. Yeah. So how the Ryan White Care Act came out was because of him. So the school found out he had HIV, they expelled him from school and was sending his work home. And his parents decided to fight it. They were able to get him back in school. And they took it a little further. They went to DC and started advocating about discrimination and everything towards people that were living with HIV and AIDS. So as a result of that, that's how the Ryan White Care Act came about. And so that led to them not being able to discriminate against anybody living with HIV as far as medical help, receiving medical care and those types of things. So the Ryan White Care Act it goes off of reauthorization, used to be every 4 years. I'm not sure if it's still that, it's longer. But that's how the Ryan White Care Act came about.
But with that being said, a part of the kindergarten program, we are Ryan White funded. And our job is to, one, educate people knowing their status, making sure that people still think they say what, the biggest myth of it all, it's only a gay man's disease. That's what we hear constantly. Oh, I can't get HIV, I'm not gay. That's a myth. That's why we wish it would stop in 2026. Why is that still? Or because if somebody has HIV, they think if they touch their silverware folks still, you will be surprised on how many people think that that's how they can contract HIV. Also, a lot of our elderly people, be very surprised who are now finding out the diagnosis of HIV, because getting your status back then wasn't really a thing. Even now it's still not a thing. For a lot of doctors, if you don't ask for a full panel or a full screening, you may not know your status. But make sure you know your status. Some people I know, we had an elderly woman who was diagnosed maybe 4 years ago, and she was. I know my who was married and dated her person since high school, so she never believed that she could contract it, and come to find out she did have HIV. So it's important to know and educate everyone of all ages, all color, to know their status. One of the things that are common now is our young people. It's educating them and making sure that they still know STIs are still very much around. HIV is still very much around. A lot of these young people don't believe it. Oh, I don't see no bumps, I don't see nothing. That don't mean nothing. They don't know how to put a condom on, or they still think, oh, I need the gold one only. I want the gold wrapper. Why? Now let me educate you. Let me tell you what the difference in the condoms are. They don't know because we're not talking or having these conversations with our young people. A lot of schools have taken sexual education out of schools now. So with them taking that out, who is it based on? The community, us. Now to provide them with education, letting them know about their status. We do testing in the communities. A lot of times, Park West is known for hosting events in Park Heights community. We just did with Park Heights Renaissance, Park Heights Alliance, some of the associations, a back to school in August with over 300 kids got book bags and stuff and all free services. We've done open mics. I'm excited for the society. We did Impact Hub on North Avenue. So we did an open mic with the Park West, did free HIV testing for World AIDS Day. So it was fun and interesting. So I'm excited to now have something in our location and post something in our area.
You have business card?
Yes, ma'am.
May I have one, please?
Yes, ma'am. We got
That's
business
your
cards and
presentation.
brochures.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am. So real quick, it's gonna give you some facts and we're gonna get out your way. Black people made up 39% of the people living with HIV, despite being only 12% of the US population. Black people were diagnosed with HIV at a rate about 7 times higher than most Caucasians. Newly diagnosed with HIV is 7 times greater than most races. That is scary. 7 times more. What do you guys think is the highest rate that people are getting besides blood transfusion? Because now the technology has changed.
Unprotected.
Drugs. Drugs is right now, it's the number one sharing the needles. Is what is spreading more rapid than anything because of the numbers of the drug use that we have is increasing. So we're seeing a lot more newly diagnosed by substance abuse users versus, yes, you still can get it from sex, not saying that. So please don't think that I'm saying that. But right now, the increase is coming from our substance abuse users. So that is why we're trying to get out there, educate, test. You might see myself, Mr. Mike. We have other ones, we see other organizations that are out here testing people rapidly because it really is spreading.
Wildfire.
I was on actually on a meeting last night with the Greater Baltimore White Planning Council. And what they do is they allocate funding, all the funds that's coming into the state from the federal government from HRSA and in Washington. And so they look at service categories to see where the money is needed most. So they would have like medical case management, childcare, housing, those different things, substance use disorder, mental health. So those are some of the service categories that get funded coming into the state. So what they do, and I started for 6 years on the planning council this week, but we look at where these service categories, where the money is needed most. So if a service category, let's say medical case management, overperformed with the funding that they receive, then they will look at what category underperformed, and then take money from that service category and put it into medical case management. And so they just divvy up the funds, all the funds that's coming into the state of Maryland and to Baltimore City from the federal government. So they didn't break down by zip codes, but Park Heights had been in one of the number one zip codes with high rates and high prevalence of HIV. So, but the thing with that is with me testing going out throughout the city and testing, I can be in Park Heights testing someone, but they live in 21229. But if that person has positive, it gets counted for Park Heights. 21215, because that's where we found them. So they got tested here in Park Heights in 21215 zip code. So although they live in 21229, that's on the count for Park. So
Those that don't live within 21215 that take up with the visits who are HIV positive and some positive too.
So they don't break it down like you were just saying, but they don't break it down like that. It's just that, and it's if I'm in 21229 testing, but that person actually lives in 21215, it's going to get counted for 29.
The activity,
Yeah.
because even though you're living, you're not gonna do, since I attend these people, most people aren't doing these activities in their neighborhoods. They come into other neighborhoods of these activities to make sure that they can, oh, of course, 21215, you know, everybody's in Park Heights, so we're gonna go here. And honestly, Park Heights, we have majority of, we have rehabilitation centers, we have, BD Health, like we have a lot of those programs that are in our neighborhood that is drawing a lot of attention, a lot more people into our neighborhoods.
So as another example, so like you have your your methadone, substance clinics, right? Those who attend those
areas within a certain zip code, they get counted in that zip code.
Yes, ma'am.
It's the same.
Yes, ma'am. If say they go to BD Health and we go test them at BD Health, it will count for the Park Heights area. Even though they.
Clear that up, because I think you're asking a slightly different question, excuse me. The substance abuse centers and the way that they track the participants at those centers is not the same.
Okay.
This
So
is,
she's saying for testing, so.
she was talking about the testing, the
Yeah,
substance
so we
abuse.
test them at BD Health, say BD Health is. just
She's not talking about
Wait,
HIV.
no. All information is very important.
Yeah.
I got you on that one, but let me hear her out to see, because I just want to inform, because all of this is big, all of us, so we just want to sort.
The substance abuse treatment centers, where those individuals who attend those centers for their services for substance abuse. Those zip codes and how that's all broken down geographically is done different from the HIV testing.
Okay.
Even though this program may test people for HIV in our zip code, and therefore that number is allowed with this zip code, it's completely separate from the substance abuse piece altogether.
Okay, and that's what I want to know, how is the accountability as far as numbers, so, okay.
So they're just two tracking systems, substance abuse, one, HIV,
Okay.
different.
And we got if they test positive with the rapid swab that we do, then we have them come in to do a confirmatory blood draw. Once that blood draw come back and confirm that they are indeed positive, that's reported to Baltimore City Health. And so then what happens is they have partner notifications. They have a partner notification. So if it's me and I tested positive, then they're gonna ask me, well, how many partners do I have? And I might have 4. And so then I can tell that person, those persons myself, or I can do partner notification through Baltimore City Health Department. I can do an anonymous notice. And have each one of my. Okay.
I don't need to be rude, but it's been a long time. Is 15 still open?
Yeah. Yeah. So just to run off some, 21201, 02, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 23, 29, off the top of my head, are zip codes with high prevalence rates of HIV. Okay, so that's a lot of zip codes. And if you think that 10 of those people in each one of those zip codes are traveling throughout Baltimore and doing what they do, that's a lot of people, and they don't know their status, that's a lot of people that's being infected. Yes, sir.
Good question. Is your funding just grant driven, or is it driven by the amount of services that you provide?
It's great. It's great.
It's great.
Mhm.
You do a lot of work. That's why I asked. That's the reason I asked.
I've been now doing this for 26 years, so as of this month, I've been doing it 26 years, so it's been a lot. But some good news, brighter side of things is from the meeting last night, we're in Baltimore. It's Baltimore, Towson, Columbia, EMA, where we've been, Baltimore, Towson has been in the top 10 and been on the top 5 for many years. We now rank 56. So the work that we've been doing out here is working. So you have PrEP. Anybody know what PrEP is? Okay, so it's pre-exposure prophylaxis. So it's a prevention where individuals that are HIV negative can get treatment, and they will be protected from contracting HIV. If they share needles with somebody that's HIV positive, or they have unprotected sex with them. So they've come a long way. Even with the medication, we've come a long way. In the beginning, there was one pill, AZT, and that pill had a lot of side effects to it. And from those side effects, that person had to go on another pill, another pill, another pill. So back in the mid 80s to early 90s, that person could end up on 15 pills that they had to take 2 to 3 times a day. And so all of those toxins going in your body, our bodies are not built to flush that stuff out. So that's why people were dying at rapid rates like that back then, because it was shutting down their vital organs, their kidneys, their liver, and all of that good stuff. And so now, fast forward, they had what's called a cocktail, which was a combination of 3 pills, okay, that attack HIV in different cycles of the fast forward, 1 pill with a combination of 2 to 3 pills in it. Now we have injectable HIV medication where the person can come and get injected intramuscular and the buttocks, and they come every 2 months. So they come a long way and they have made a lot of progress with the treatment of HIV and prevention of HIV. So the work that we're doing has not gone in vain. We are really making strides. So with the CDC cascade, with continuum of care, what they're trying to do is get to 95, what they call 95, 95, 95. 95% of people doing their status, 95% of people being linked to care, and 95% of those individuals being virally suppressed or having an undetectable virus. So
What do you think is right now positive the most, like men, like women, or MSNs?
What's MSN?
Men having sex with men.
Okay.
Black women. It actually is. You're actually right. Black women right now account for half of all new HIV diagnoses, right? Making up 13% of women in the US population. New HIV diagnoses in women, despite being 30% of women in the US, Black women are still in, which means our birth rates are increasing before we are passing HIV as well, because again, we're not getting tested to know our status. We are having children who sometimes may be lucky not to contract it, but are more likely to contract it if you are not prepared and taking proper medication. So.
Yes, sir. Are we having an explosion with older adults as well?
So the number of older adults, that number has gone down.
Gone down now?
Mm-hmm. So the age group used to be 30 to 39 with the highest prevalence of HIV. It's now the 20 to 29 age group. That's with new infections. Reference new infections. And actually, going back to earlier, IV drug use, their numbers have come down significantly. That used to be the #1 population, but their numbers have steadily gone down. And that's because of the needle exchange program, where they can go and take it in used needles and get brand new needles. A lot of people are like, well, that's just condoning what they're doing, but it's also stopping the spread of HIV. Right. So they're able to go take their old needles. They don't have to worry about being arrested. They can get a brand new, whole kit, which has the syringe, the cotton, the filter, the bleach. It has the whole thing that they use to shoot up. So yeah, yeah.
Can we just get a refresher of what is Park West Medical Center?
One stop.
There we go, there we go. Yes, ma'am, right downstairs, right downstairs. Yes, we are. So Park Heights, like she said, we are downstairs. We have medicine here on Mondays and Tuesdays. Then our Belvedere location is open Monday through Friday, which has internal medicine, pediatrics, OBGYN, our pharmacy, and our dental office. And also our human resources office is at that location as well, as with our behavioral health clinic as well. So we have case managers there, therapists there as well. And then we have our Rice and Plaza location, which has pediatrics, OBGYN, internal medicine, Monday through Friday as well. Our late nights is Wednesday till 7. Thank you, Mr. Board. Till 7. And again, please don't let insurance be a barrier. We do have a fee scale. We do have options. We do have people who, like I said, can assist with Medicaid as well, or social workers that can assist with the Medicaid portion as well. So there's no excuses. Yes, sir. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. But that's why I was saying that's why we kind of love our name being Hidden Garden, because we did a request and you never know what you're coming to receive for. And with our HIV specialists, they still see the common population as well, so you still won't be signified or anything like that.
Okay, thank you. They're gonna stick around. So if there are additional questions, feel free to connect with them, get contact information. We also have Mr. Board. Mr. Board, you wanna come up here? Excuse me, no, the people online.
Oh, I forgot about
She knows I'm the boss. I don't know why we have to go through this. Get in the box. There you go. Now.
Hey, family. Shameless plug, full disclosure, I'm also the board chair for Park West Health Systems. So I just wanted to share that. Also want to let you know that we have a full pharmacy. If you use our services, we deliver your pharmacy to your prescription to you. That is one of the things that has helped, because Rite Aid is closed, CVS is closed. So we're trying to make it so you can use our pharmacy if you don't use our services. But we encourage you, strongly encourage you to use our services. We are full wraparound. We are celebrating over 55 years of services. We do not discriminate. We're a very qualified healthcare center, which means that the government looks at us on a full scale. So we have to be in compliance. But again, for those who not real quick, we started in a church, in the basement of a church at the New Elizabeth, right there at Park Heights in Oakley. So we are community-based, always been community-based. So please, if you have any problem getting a prescription, getting an appointment, I'm gonna give you my number and I will make sure you get what you need. I promise you. That number is 410-805-6589. And most people know I'm a woman of my word.
What's your name?
Deborah Wolford. Who I am.
And full disclosure, Ms. Deborah Wolford is also on the Park Heights Renaissance Board of Directors because she has so much time on her hands with a bunch of heads. So I just wanted you to know, there's no conflict of interest here. I want to make sure we put on full disclosure. Yes, yes. And so they've been partnering with us on a host of things, as well as so many other organizations and events. We've been plugging in and sharing info with them, and they've been going other places as well. So they're a little bit of everywhere, much more, I want to say, than a few years ago. I feel like you guys are really doing outreach at a bunch of the festivals and resource fairs. Okay, so.
Park West, Shantae was an amazing partner. But through Community Leadership Council, that was actually one of our first events that we did something today.
And it went so well, I'm sure they're coming back again. So we're gonna move things along because we are going to finish this meeting on time. I decided. We're gonna slide into the Black History little segment that we're gonna do here, which kind of just dovetails from learning at Park West, started in the church right up the street, right? Coming up, Rion. Not saying his last name either. So it's just Rion and Serene. And so what we wanted to do is just kind of give a recognition of Black History Month, just share with you all a few things about Black history as it relates to Park Heights. Because we celebrate all of the greats year after year. We all know the same faces that we see online and the tributes, but we want to recognize some of Park Heights legends as well. We're going to start with talking about Mr. Henry G. Parks Jr., who was the founder of Park Sausage. I'm sure many of you remember the Park Sausage building down in Park Circle, now Dietz and Watson. Yeah. So, but did you know that that was a major employment hub back in the 1970s, employing hundreds of African Americans from across Baltimore? Park Sausage was one of the first publicly traded Black-owned businesses and the first to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Wow. So, even though Mr. Park, rest in peace, is long gone, the legacy of that, which is Park Circle, runs deep in Park Heights. So we just want to highlight that even though the building now says East and Watson.
They also, the city fair used to be held. Back in like the mid-80s, early 80s, so, yeah.
So we just wanted to share that with folks. Next up, we want to talk about the one and only George E. Mitchell. Anybody not know who George Mitchell was? Oh, Carmen, we're gonna give you a whole baptism. Okay, so George Mitchell was affectionately known as the mayor of Park Heights. People said it wasn't official, but it sort of was. He founded Youth Educational Services, Bridging Services, GATS, Inc. He was the president of Neighborhood United and a 2019 champion of Carriage. You know, before that station went a little straight. He was one of the first African-American franchisees of the Golden Corral Restaurant Group. Didn't know that part. So Mr. George was everywhere in all things Park Heights, working with the young people, helping people get connected to services, just everything. You name it. He, as a former city employee, you know, if there was a problem, I heard from Mr. Mitchell. It didn't matter what part of Park Heights that problem existed in. But he always was just championing this community. When Langston Hughes Elementary School closed and it sat abandoned, Mr. Mitchell, at the time, I'm still working in Baltimore City, said, I want that building. Everybody thought it was crazy, but Mr. Mitchell was able to get that building from city schools, and an agreement, a right of entry was turned into what now is the Langston Hughes Business Resource Center. And although he passed away a few years ago, that's still a thriving community hub, providing everything from food, event space, library, just you name it, it's providing training for people in the community. And so the mural is huge, but it's not as big as the heart of Mr. Mitchell. So we definitely would be remiss if we didn't recognize his contributions to Park Heights. For those of you who may not know, the Langston Hughes Business Resource Center is located at 5011 Arbutus Avenue, which was right across the street from where Mr. Mitchell lived. So he only walked over and went straight in his building and then walked back. Mr. Mitchell was something else. So we definitely want to just give him his flowers and continue on. And it's also the reason why there is the George E. Mitchell Scholarship, which we award each year at the Black Eyed Susan. And it just goes to a recipient who exemplifies those things that were once Mr. Mitchell.
Are we gonna have our annual spring celebration?
So this is the Black History segment. We can get around to our events as we wrap up.
So before we pivot, I also just wanted to spotlight, speaking of Mr. Mitchell, the food pantry that is at Langston Hughes has been operated and managed by some of the longest standing community advocates in this area. One of which, who I definitely have to shout out, is President Minerva Eaton. She is the president of Hilltop 4100. She is absolutely a voice and a force to be reckoned with. And I'm proud to call her one of my mentors in this work. So Ms. Minerva, continue. Thanks for all the work that you do.
Yeah. She's probably online.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, so
okay. Following in that vein of community leadership and just some history right here. For more than over 60 years, the Betty's Beauty Salon has been a cherished fixture in Park Heights. Founded by the late Betty Solomon and now led by her daughter, Valerie Fisher, the salon has served as more than a place for salad. It's been a hub for connection, conversation, and community. Care across generations. Known for its warm atmosphere and exceptional service, the family-owned business continues to uphold its legacy of personalized attention and neighborhood pride. Today, we celebrate Betty's Beauty Salon for its longevity and its lasting contribution to the spirit and vitality of Park Heights. Another non-shameless plug. Valerie Fisher is actually a leader in the Pimlico Terrace Neighborhood Association. She serves as our treasurer. So thank you, Ms. Val, for your continued service to our community. Her mom was Betty Solomon. Yes, ma'am. And then also just another Black History fact to know. Within the heart of Park Heights Main Street corridor is the Derek T. Jones Funeral Home, which has served as a compassionate institution for decades. Founded by Derek T. Jones, who made history actually as the youngest African-American funeral home owner in the state of Maryland at the time of the founding of the funeral home. He has long represented excellence, dignity, and community commitment. Generations of families have relied on its professional and personalized services, while its presence in Park Heights reflects stability, resilience, and deep neighborhood roots. In this moment, we proudly honor the funeral home for both its historic founding and its enduring impact on the social and economic fabric of Park Heights. So to Mr. Jones and to Ms. Mary Brooks, thank you.
Okay, so, and it's kind of like a perfect segue, but not, but still a somber moment. We do want to take a moment to recognize the late Jesse Jackson, who passed away yesterday. A civil rights giant, across the nation. I do know that he made appearances in Park Heights throughout the civil rights movement. I can't remember, I'm kind of caught off guard right now because of course I didn't expect to have to do this today. But I want to say he was connected with Cornerstone and some other faith institutions that as the civil rights movement was going on, where he made stops right here in Baltimore, but even more specifically in Park Heights. So we do recognize him and all of his contributions. Last up, we want to recognize George Spider Anderson. So I want all of Park Heights to know about George Spider Anderson. George Spider Anderson was the first African-American jockey to win the Preakness Stakes. He did so at the age of 18 in the year 1889. So last May, we celebrated our 150th Preakness before the demolition and now reconstruction. It was the 4th year that Park Heights Renaissance put on the George Spider Anderson Music and Arts Festival, the free festival that we started 4 years ago to shine a light on the contributions of African-American jockeys in the Preakness. Started as an economic driver in the community because for so many years, there was so much disinvestment and people came to Pimlico that only showed up the weekend of Preakness and then left the neighborhood. And it left businesses that were here all along not seeing any of the profits while millions were made inside the track. So our CEO had a dream, as she often does, and said, I want to do this festival to drive business before the Preakness to the local community to make a connection again. And so that was how the George Spider Anderson Festival began. Each year, since its inception, it's grown larger. Last year, we were able to have national acts. We had Dougie Fresh. We shut down Park Heights Avenue, y'all. We shut down Park Heights Avenue. Our CEO, shout out to Ms. Yolanda Jiggett, who does not give up. Shut down Park Heights Avenue, and we literally were able to party in the street with no problem.
Uneventful moment.
Yes, without incident, we were able to eat, dance, and just have a good time. We had a cookout essentially in the middle of Park Heights. But let's not forget that the reason we did that was to recognize also the contributions that we have to horse racing, which many people probably just did not know existed. So we will continue that. We're gonna have some upcoming events coming to you guys from Ms. Robin and Ms. Jade in just a moment. And so we plan to share with you the information about what the future of the festival looks like. But we definitely wanted to make sure we recognize Spider Anderson. Okay, thank you. On that note, we have Ms. Jade and Ms. Robin who are gonna come up to do our event.
Computer all this.
Yeah, I get the warm seat.
That's it.
I'm Jay Chapman. Nobody wants to get with PHR.
Yeah, so we want to start, it's a great piggyback off of Black History Month, and we talked about our wonderful, amazing CEO, Yolanda Jiggets, that does not stop. So it's a small spotlight. I think she would not like that I'm doing this, but I think it's an opportunity to acknowledge what she is doing out in the community, because every time she goes outside of Park Heights, she's talking about Park Heights. So we want to find, there's 2 events coming up. These are 2 ways that we can support her while also supporting the health and wellness that she is speaking to. So this is the CIAA. Everybody knows CIAA as the basketball tournaments coming up, but they have a full weekend of health and money moves and all those sort of things. So she's speaking at the Health and Mental Wellness Summit on February 26th. It is from 11:15 to 11:45, and it is free. So she'll be on a panel talking about social, mental, and physical health. Go to baltimore.org/CIAA to register. And the second event is the Finer Womanhood. Is Danielle here? I think she might have had it out. But the Zeta Phi Beta organization is honoring our Yolanda Jiggets for the Finer Womanhood Award for Women in Business. So what better month to do it than Women's History Month? Exactly. Tickets are $65. So if you would like to go, it's March 14th. The code is there. We'll send it out afterwards. As long as you register, you'll get that code. So those are 2 things that we want to be able to acknowledge our CEO, how proud we are of her, and she supports us. We support her as well.
And just want to plug that event is going to be at the Forum. So it's not just like $65, to show up in a whole, but it's going to be at the Forum. So there will be food and other items as a part of that event. Yep.
Okay, we're gonna get this community event. Just a few of them, so bear with me. We're gonna run through them now. Okay, so we have the drum making workshop hosted by Sankofa's Children Museum. That's on February 21st from 4 to 6 p.m. ages 10 and up, and it's $30. Then we have the Thrive Fest. That's hosted by Divine Counseling. That's also February 21st. That's from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Creative City Public Charter School. Delta Sigma Theta is hosting a AI workshop. That's on Saturday, February 28th. It's also virtual. You can register at their website, which is below bacdst.org/events. And it's from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. on February 28th. We back at it with Sankofa's. Y'all know they got the events. They having a sip and paint also on February 28th. It's $50. Must be 21 or older. I don't know. Is everybody in here 21? A little younger. Yes, and that's from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We have an event from Baltimore City Rec and Parks. It's like a technology program. Stream is for ages 10 to 14. Not just technology. They have 3D printing, vertical gardening, repurposing plastic and other raw materials, and that's recurring at the Tawanda Rec Center. Mondays, February 2nd through March 23rd.
So while we're on that one, right before you go to the next one, Jade, we have a representative from Shoesmith Youth Empowerment here. So if you have additional questions about that programming, we want to make sure you're immediately connected with Ms. Tell me, Karen Bullock. Go ahead.
If you're not familiar with the neighborhood, they always have food pantries every Thursday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So that's for your Karen. Make sure you stop by, get some fresh food. as Breon previously mentioned, Food Pantry Friday, Lake Stimulus Community Center. That's every other Friday. So you got food pickup from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Is that this week? Do we know?
Yes, this.
I always get confused when I see the flyer. Like, which one? Okay.
Okay, so taxes. If you may be eligible for earned income tax. That could save you some money if you owe, and it also could give you some more money if you don't owe. So you can go on the website, marylandcomptroller.gov/earned it, and then when you put in your information, it'll let you know if you qualify or not. This is the Excellence and Ambition Youth Entrepreneurship Program. Sorry about that. They're just thanking everyone for thanking our partners, sponsors, and grantors for helping them with this program. They have different sponsorship packages and things of that nature. And we are one of their sponsors, along with Sankofa and a few other familiar faces that's around Park Heights.
And we'll have their QR code. All of these slides will be available to everyone. They are also always raising money to continue the work that they're doing with our young people. So we'll make sure you guys get this in a follow-up email so that you can donate.
Next is the congressional competition. This is open nationwide, but people in Maryland are encouraged to apply. Basically, all congressmen, they encourage high school students to submit their artwork, and they could possibly have their artwork in a year at the U.S. Capitol. The deadline to enter is April 17th, and you submit your artwork to Mfume's office, and the website below is mfume.house.gov/services/art-competition. Next, we have a spring break camp coming up, also by Rec and Parks. You have some of the dates listed here, and it's from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. You can register at bit.ly/4TP BPZB. I know that's a mouthful, but we're gonna send it out, y'all, so just.
CC Jackson is one of the camps included in summer camp. So it's right there.
It has a whole list of other, like other places that's involved, so. Yes. And then we have the Stop the Beef hotline. Anybody is in any trouble, don't feel comfortable contacting the police, please reach out to Stop the Beef hotline, which is 443-431-3705 or 443-522-7848.
You sound like her.
Yeah, I was looking at
When can we donate the fund?
Right now. Pull out your phone. No, that's how people get in trouble. We're gonna talk through it a little more. Okay. Is that the last one, Jade? Oh no. And so again, here we have all these ways to stay in touch with us. Please follow us on our social media. Our content is really amazing because of the amazing folks we have doing that work, like our Miss Jade here and Miss Robin Singletary. So they make us look good online. Is that the last? Oh, sorry.
That subscribe link, the bit.ly subscribe to PHR. So that is where you go in case you aren't getting our email or text messages or you're getting too many of those. Either way, fill that out. And also if you want to volunteer, you can check off the box to volunteer. There's a lot of different ways that you can get involved, and we're trying to put this build this distribution list so that we can reach out to you for the specific things that you care about. So right now you're receiving everything, which is great. But as we're building that list, we want to make sure you're getting the information that you need and that applies to you.
Thank you.
Yes, we're gonna send that out. And so, I guess that goes to the closer. Is that the last one? Yeah. Okay. So what we will also do, is these meetings are recorded. So if there's anything that was presented here, you want to just go back, even in some of the audio portion, you'll be able to see that. Will it be on YouTube?
Yeah.
So the email that will blast out, follow up from the meeting will have the slides that were prepared for today. There's speakers, all this information in the recording.
Yeah.
So I want to fact check. So all of this information will be available for you to go back and peruse at your leisure. Before I close out, I was looking around. We didn't have any elected officials come in tonight to recognize, but I did want to recognize Kelly, who is here from the department.
We do have representatives from Senator Antonio Hayes' office that are online.
Okay.
So just want to make sure you got it.
Perfect. I'll get to them in 1 second. I want to acknowledge Mr. Larry, who's here in person from the Department of Public Works. He is the community liaison for this area. So for all your issues, whether they be water, trash related, we know there was a lot that went on with the alleys getting cleared and things like that after the ice, snow catastrophe we all just lived through for weeks. But if you have any of those questions, please connect with Mr. Nunley while he's here. Okay. And Robin, I can't see the representatives online.
We have Jasmine Barnes from.
Okay. So we want to recognize Jasmine Barnes, who is in Councilwoman Sharon Middleton's office. She's joining us online. I don't know if she has any comments she wants to share.
No, she's just waving hi.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hi, everybody. Just wonderful meeting. I just wanted to say,
and there's another representative.
So from Senator Hayes' office, they just want to remind us that District Night is happening.
We just gotta collaborate at PHR, folks.
Hey, everybody. So Ms. Laura Mayo, she just wanted to make sure that we were all still open. You can go on. It is a night in Annapolis. I coordinated one last year. It's an amazing experience to come from the district to actually see exactly where our senators and our delegates are actually working for 4 months out of the year. As you all know, we are in legislative season right now. One of the other facets of this moment is that everything is literally spotlighting what happens here in the 40th district. That is where we are currently, in the 40th legislative district. In addition to that, transportation is not an issue. There are 2 buses that will be leaving from within our district. So please go on to AntonioHayes.com. That's AntonioHayes.com. You can sign up for your transportation there, but also indicate if you're driving on your own, but still would like to attend. And more details are on that website. I don't have the date right in front of me, but it is the first week in March.
It's Monday, March the 2nd, and I've also put it in the chat, and I will email it to Yolanda. And I'll copy you as well, Breon.
Thank you. And so we will also, although we're in the 40th now, we also, part of Park Heights also goes into the 41st. Right, so they both have district nights in Annapolis. As the details become available to us for the other district night event, we will make sure that that goes out as well, because I know so many people come to this meeting from both districts. So we will blast out, as we did last year, the information for both district nights. Both will provide transportation
to those interested in going down to Annapolis, which should be encouraged because the parking there is not right. Not right. So please, when those blasts come out, sign up to get your free ride that'll drop you off at the door so that you don't have to drive around looking for parking, pay for it, and then still walk a country mile. Just lived experience.
It's a fabulous event.
And it is fabulous. You eat, you get to meet with your neighbors, people from all over the district. It's fun, especially when you can get dropped off at the door. So on that note, I feel like all hearts and minds are clear.
Yep.
All right, we can go ahead and wrap up the February meeting for Park Heights Renaissance Community News. Well, we didn't have any major events that we have to send out any notifications about. So thank you all to those who joined us online. We hope you found this information useful. If you did, give us some thumbs up. I hope Robin's been able to keep up with you guys in the chat. Oh yeah, you can give me clicks. I take clicks too. I love clicks. But we really appreciate you coming out and look forward to sharing more with you next month as we celebrate women's histories.
Right.